some things that you don't want to record with him.
Let's get back to business here.
That's not good.
I do want to mention this to you guys, and I'll mention the other class as well. Just discovered this over lunch. First part I've known for about a month when it first happened. The Pope has started to tweet.
I was shocked too.
About a month ago. I said, that's not what I just want.
The Pope have turned themselves into a bird.
Coming to the new parts. His Twitter handle is @Pontifex, which, of course, Pontifex priest. However, there is a new Twitter account for the Pope that's just been launched, where he will be tweeting in Latin. And it is @Pontifex_LN. LN for kind of sounds of Latin there. So @Pontifex_LN. And
what he tweeted originally was
apparently he has not. Apparently this is established. It already has like 2,000 followers, although he has not sent his first Latin tweet yet. The Latin secretary for the Vatican has made a comment. I thought it was very interesting. Latin is actually an ideal language for something like Twitter, given that you've only got 140 characters to work with, and Latin is a much more concise language. So where, say, example, English, you might take 5 words to say something. You might only need 2 or 3 in Latin. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Yeah.
Does @Pontifex tweet in Italian or English?
You can get, if you go on the search of Twitter, @Pontifex I think by itself is English, but then he does have other extensions for other languages as well, certainly Italian and so forth. So anyhow, be aware of that. Next, we pick it up page 327. Cooper. Where are we on any of the spaghetti sauce details? You weren't here for the meeting, never mind. Can you text Maya right now? I mean, I can't believe she'd be so poor student as to answer a text in class.
Also already detection
during the day of school, but if you try to text her outside, like after school, it's like hours before she like
Really? She's better at texting in school?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Text her to come by.
Just so you know, that's not tweeted yet. Like that account has not tweeted yet.
He already said that.
That's why I said that.
Oh,
He's got 2,000 followers, but he has not sent his first Latin tweet yet.
Alright.
It should just be like, yo.
Me nomen as Pope. That wasn't that funny.
It was. To me, it was. It was. I gotta be honest. It was partly your delivery. It was really funny to me. But okay.
Make sure it's all to come on over to the room.
Yeah, at the end of the period.
Right now.
Yeah, right now. Get up and walk out of Mr. Diaz. No, don't. No, at the end of the period. I've abused that man's patience enough, sending her late to class. All right, top of page 327. Aeneas and Sybil.
Oh, she's sick today. I'm sorry.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, okay.
No, but that'll be like days before she gets back.
They are on the banks. Tartarii Acherontis, we've seen in line 295. They're on the banks of what?
Tartarus.
Well, yeah, but what river?
It was
The Acheron.
Acheron, which says flows into the Caucasus. And we've had old Charon there, who is a pretty ripped old man.
Wait, so the Tartarus is the sea, and then the Acheron.
It's another river.
Oh,
The Caucasus is a river. All these different rivers of the underworld. Let's kind of review rivers of the underworld. You've got Acheron, you've got Caucasus, you've got Styx, you've got Lethe, and you've got Phlegethon. And Phlegethon's fire, Lethe is forgetfulness, Styx is kind of the boundary of the underworld. So yeah, they're down at the river. They're living in a van down by the river, and it is a song, which I haven't heard of in forever. I haven't heard it in forever. Yes.
Chiron was on Jeopardy last night.
Is that right?
It wasn't the question. The question was, it was like fairy was the answer, because that's like the 2-letter R was a category,
Oh, yeah?
or words with the double R's next to each other.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
what does Chiron do? And I was like, fairy! And it was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Oh, that's great. That is really great. I got to go back to your first year textbook for a moment. And those of you who weren't with me, you're not going to have seen this, remembered this. And I will, I guess we can pass out first year book. You know what? One of you student helpers, go pass out a first year textbook to all these guys. There's a stack of them back there. And turn to page 211 of the first year textbook.
Hurry up,
Page.
Vermin.
There's a wonderful painting.
He's disobeying me.
Do not call me Vermin.
I'm going to call you
That's
Vermin.
uncalled for.
That is not uncalled for. That is your position.
You know what?
Don't expect servitude from Vermin. Recognize authority.
Especially expect.
Oh, there's a bumper sticker. Do not expect servitude from Vermin.
Wow.
Page 211.
Tried to impose an opinion before.
Page 211.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Firsthand on the first day.
One of my favorite, very many depictions of the escape from Troy. Page 211.
That's right. Mr. Perkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
One more book.
Well,
Oh, well.
here, no, here. I don't need it. Here. Okay, now what you notice and what I point out in the first year is, if you look carefully at Aeneas and Creusa and even little toddler Iulus and old Anchises, they are all absolutely ripped and cut. I mean,
Yeah.
Creusa's got some pretty stout calves there. I think she's been working with Stairmaster. I think Iulus, I think somebody put some hydroxycut in the formula there for him. And you look at Anchises, and I've always, to me, my interpretation, it looks like he's pushing up and trying to get off of Aeneas' shoulder, and I can just hear this grizzled old man going, "Let me go, I can walk for my dang self." You know, I mean, that's what I get from that painting, right? Now, I bring that up because, interestingly enough, the legend is, and see, there's stuff outside the Aeneid and even outside the Iliad and the Odyssey about some of these characters. Anchises himself, I'm pretty sure, is supposed to be half divine. And this description of Charon, yesterday, he was this grizzled, old, and dirty, and just kind of very creepy and scary. But, said Virgil, right, the senectus for a deo, senectus, old age for a god, said Virgil, is cruda and viridis.
Is green and.
Right, green and fresh. Right, and so as I was thinking about that. Here's Anchises, clearly an old man, but you really see that strength depicted here. And I don't know that, at least I can't recall anything seeing Charon ever actually depicted as some strong character. We always see him as creepy and old. So yeah, there's that picture. At the end of the period, we'll return to those books. Oh, by the way, just keep your finger on 211. And because some of you were not here, who's not here with me when in first year? Who did not have me for first year Latin? Half the class, right? Okay. Flip over to page 153. This is also a painting of Aeneas.
No, it's not.
153.
There's no picture.
Is it? Hold on, I've got it written down somewhere.
Oh, I remember.
Pretty good thing.
I remember what you're talking
Is
about.
it-
I remember what page
I
it
did
is.
No, I've got it written down.
58?
158. Yeah, 158. 158. The guy on the left is Aeneas. Now, put that Aeneas in 158 with the guy on 211. There's no way that's the same character. Okay? I mean, other than the fact that they're both humanoid, that's about all those two paintings share in common.
Is that his son?
And by the way,
Sitting by
the little figure in the middle is Iulus, his boy child.
Yeah, that
I'm
is what
pretty
it
sure
is.
it looks like his makeup on his face.
I'm telling you, I mean, that is the strangest, clearly culturally influenced painting, and a lot of these paintings are, they do pick up the characteristics of time, their time or something, but yeah.
Wasn't it Aaron who sent you that long email about why some pictures
Oh,
He did the,
yeah, he was,
Yeah,
for
he
a couple
was.
years.
he did
Do you
the
know,
chart,
I'd forgotten
and
that.
it was like,
Yeah.
divine would be
You
like
blocked it out.
the, homogeneous sort of thing.
Yeah.
Homozygous.
Yes, that's coming back to me now. He did a whole,
Yeah, and he
like,
was
Punnett
like.
square thing with
Yeah.
divine
Yeah.
and human
Yeah.
genes.
Yeah, and he was
He
like,
did.
he's like, so obviously they could either be ripped or.
Yeah, how
happy."
was that? How was that?
Because he had the double D capital, the.
This was what, fully divine?
That, no, it was, homozygous.
Yeah, he did a whole thing with a Punnett square. Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, so if you have
God,
a
dude,
God,
you're
like,
gonna
another
look it
one
up
of
now.
Yeah,
the-
it was like the two capital D's
You have
and
to have
then.
4 of the hybrids, and then you'd end up with 2 double D's.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that 2 hybrids can go to God?
Yeah.
Aaron Welcher, Punnett square analysis of Euless. I've got it right here.
That laugh.
Oh my gosh. Actually, all right, I've got it in the letter that I sent to his mom. I sent a letter home telling his mom how impressed I was with it. Take, somebody go write this up. Somebody go write this up.
You always have student helpers.
Okay.
Just saying.
Take a capital G to represent the allele of a god, and lowercase g to represent the allele of a human. Okay? Now let's draw a Punnett square. All right, so we're going to have Venus at the top, and her representation, of course, will be capital G, capital G. So we'll put Venus at the top. So she's capital G, and then Anchises on the side, and he is small g, small g. So I guess he must have been purely human. Now, no matter what, we can conclude from this Punnett square analysis that with 100% certainty that Aeneas was a demigod, because you can see clearly the genetic representation. Now, we got to do another square, so go off to the left or somewhere wherever you like. Okay. Now, let's put Creusa at the top. She's small g, because she's purely human. Okay. Now, Aeneas on the left-hand side, he would be big G, small g. Okay. Now, what you can see is that there's a 50-50 chance of Euless being purely human or purely divine.
Yeah.
Or demigod, rather.
That really blows.
And Aaron used this analysis to explain the 2 different paintings of Euless. For you to page 158, we find a Euless that is not all that inspiring. In fact, it's rather difficult to tell the young child is even a boy. According to Aaron, this would represent the fully human half of the Punnett square. The page 211 picture, we see a Euless that is considerably more robust, which according to Aaron represents his demigod nature. I had completely forgotten that, David. That is awesome. I'm glad you brought that up. That is good. I'm glad I saved that too. Okay, so apparently one of those paintings was depicting one version of his genetics. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, so they're down there at the shore, right? And what do they see coming up? They see what? The turba, right? What's a turba? Crowd, big crowd of dead souls. And who are the people who make up this big crowd?
Women, children, wives,
Yep.
husbands, great warriors.
Uh-huh. And all these people, he says, quam multa, this is where we pick it up, quam multa in silvis autumni fregore primo, lapsa cadunt folia. He says it's quam multa, as many. Quam, very often in a comparison, or we deal with some kind of numbers, means as. As many as, and now he's going to go into this comparison. take student helper back, or this thing? Yes.
I thought on that picture from 211.
Yes.
What they're all essentially ripped, and yet Aeneas is carrying his father out of the city and letting the baby of Ulysses walk on his own.
Yes. Well, that's what I say. And Anchises is like, you know,
He's a devil.
I can do it by myself.
Even Creos is not, isn't even within physical contact with
Right.
the baby. It's like, yeah, there's a war going on. The baby
Put me
will
down,
walk
boy.
himself.
He says it's as many as, he says, in the Silvis Autumni. Yeah, now, I think AP would probably nail you for that. Not the autumn forest, literally in the Silvis Autumni.
Oh, in the forest of autumn?
There it is, in the forest of autumn. It isn't being used as an adjective here to modify Silvis. It is the noun. The forest of autumn, in the very primo frigore, in the first cold, right, the first frost, as many lapsa folia cadunt. As many what? Lapsa folia. Now, lapsa, any idea what verb lapsa comes from? Seen before.
Oh, lobster?
It is from labor, labi, lapsus. What do you think labor means?
No, that's
Exactly wrong.
No.
The noun labor is work. Labor, labi, lapsus. Think about it.
Lap.
The side?
And the derivative from lapsus. Lapse, to fall away. Okay, so as many of the fallen leaves that fall. Now, lapsa and cotton are almost the same thing, and so I don't know what you want to say there. The fallen leaves that fall, that doesn't make any sense. Or the fallen leaves that blow, maybe something like that. But he says, imagine the leaves falling down. That's how many souls there were there. Or, and one thing that's nice about Virgil and Homer before him, they give you multiple choice when it comes to metaphor. If you don't like the first metaphor, I'll give you another. Right? Or, ad terram gurgitab alto quam multae glomerantur always. Or, he says, it's as many as always. Birds that glomerantur ad terram, that flock to the land, good, from the alto gurgite, from the alto mari, from the deep sea. As many as birds that flock to land from the deep sea, ubi, outer meaning, when the frigidus annus, when the cold year fugat them. Remember, now hold on. Remember the difference between fugo fugare and fugio fugere. Fugio fugere is to flee or escape. Fugo fugare is to put to flight. Okay? So if I come after you with a meat cleaver, right? Ego te fugo. I put you to flight. I'm causing you to run. Your response is to fugus. You are running away, right? So they're flip sides of the same action. And he says it's, think about all these birds that flock to the shore from the deep sea when the cold year puts them to flight transpontum across the sea, and imitate them and sends them to the aprices terris, to the sunny lands. All right. So now I don't know that we see this so much, unless you happen to be a vacation around water or whatever. But certainly a Mediterranean people. All right, you're going to be familiar with the sight of seabirds being driven landward in winter. And so he says, imagine that sort of flocking. That's what it was like for these souls. And he says, they stabant there, orantes primi transmittere cursum. They were standing there Orantes, begging, praying, entreating, to transmittere cursum primi. Yeah, to cross the cursum. Put an O in there and you'd have an English word almost. To cross the course, primi. First. All right? So maybe for us, it'd be better to say, you know, a bunch of people standing outside the ticket office waiting to get tickets to, and you pick your hot item. And everybody's dying to get in there. They want to be first. They're pressing and they're shoving. He says they're all able to stand there, all jostling for position. They're begging to go across first. Tendebantque manus ripae ulteriores amore. And they were tendebant, very pitiful scene. They were stretching their manus, their hands, with an amore of the ulteriores ripae, of the farther shore. Right? These souls want entrance to the underworld. Right? The name is escaping me. It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't say it. Miss Kay, can you help me out? Who did the famous Albert Durer? Never mind. The famous woodcuts for the illustrations of the Divine Comedy.
No.
German artist Albrecht Dürer. He did the famous woodcuts. Anytime you see illustrations of the Divine Comedy or the Inferno, Purgatorio, Paradiso, you see these images. And he's got a lot, especially there you see in the first two books, the Inferno and Purgatorio. You definitely see lots of images of twisted bodies and things and so forth. And there's often positions of entreaty and this kind of thing. So that kind of thing comes to my mind of these souls on the bank. What's that?
The gates of hell, I wrote down. August for them, who sculpted figures.
Yeah, he did do the thinker. Why am I blanking on that piece of work?
Probably because it's just, he finished it as plaster, but then like later, in like our country, they put it in bronze. But it's like, he depicted like all the people on the gates, like you pay and whatnot. And then it had like the poet, as it was called, which he did transform into
He did. I loved. All right, I want to. This is worth it. I'm just going to leave the general Google image search up, and I'm going to work through several of those images for you. Outstanding. I know that, or I've seen it, but it just wasn't coming to mind initially at all, and I'm glad it came to mind for you.
I just did a report on him for 8 years.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Great cross disciplinary reference there. Very, very nice. All right. I know, Adrian, go ahead and take the lights out for us, if you will, please. There's so many wonderful images, and Google's got several of them here. I want to just hit on a couple of these here. Rather than going to that site, can you see that?
Not on the camera.
We'll go there. You see that? See the twisted images? This is a part of it. Obviously, this is in bronze.
And this is all done by statue.
Here's an example of these doors. Here's on the doors. Okay. You see that? But again, these twisted bodies and so forth. I think that's very good. I'm just come up with some of the stuff for Dürer and the Divine Comedy. Here's a great one. Again, the souls in the river. In fact, this is very apropos. Very apropos, because here you actually have Dante being led by Virgil going across the river. Certainly here's a very ripped Charon. full size is a little bit bigger there.
Wait, why is
And you see, again, the souls that are here. Obviously, they're already in the river. But again, you get the idea.
why
of
is
this
Virgil
stuff.
leading him?
That's the whole thing. Dante, he says, midway in life's allotted 70 years and 10. So if you live 70 years, that means in his 35th year, he had this vision and he was led by Virgil through the Inferno entirely. Virgil takes him to purgatory, but can't really go on much further, and then he gets other guides, takes him through there, and then through heaven. Virgil was the character Dante's guide, but he was certainly the poet Dante's guide, in that the real imitator of Virgil is Dante, and the true inheritor of Virgil's stuff. Go ahead and lights up, if you will.
Further away than my Karen looking.
Doesn't seem like Kingdom Hearts.
What's that?
Good call. In the game of Dante's Inferno, Karen is like fused with his boat.
Oh, is that right?
So it's like the trial of the boat. It's like his head.
Interesting.
And like at one point, Dante gets up on a giant monster and tears his head off and throws it.
Okay, that's okay. Now it says the Nawita, synonym for portator. We had portator yesterday. Today is called a Nawita.
I never knew
He's a
things
what?
could get too creepy.
He's a ferryman, right? The boatman. You see Nawis in that
Surprises
word.
me.
Nawita, line 315. But the tristis Nawita. Now here's the deal. Sad is definitely a definition for tristis. It just very often you got to do something else. Tristis can often mean grim, and I think it's more grim. I don't think Charon is particularly sad, as you or I would be if a favorite television show would cancel. But rather it's grim. But the grim boatman, nunc hos occipit, nunc illos occipit. Well, this seems interesting. Got this repetition of nunc. Nunc is now he occipit hos. Now he occipit. Now he accepts hos. These. Now he accepts illos. And so here's all these people, and he says you, and over here you, and you, and he's picking now these, now those. Ost, synonym for said. But alios longes sumotos arcet harena. But alios, but others, he arcet. He keeps off.
He fends off.
He fends off. That's good. He keeps off or he fends off. Longe sumotos harena. Long removed from the harena, from the sand. You, and you. You guys, back up. That seems rather arbitrary to Aeneas. In fact, Aeneas miratus, enim motusque tumultu. Aeneas wondered, right? Perfect participle. Having wondered at this, and having been motus by the tumultu, moved by the uproar, by the tumult, he ate. Synonym for decet. He says, "Dec, O Virgo." Tell, speak, right? Dec is an irregular imperative. We've got 4 irregular imperatives in Latin, or the 4 common irregular imperatives. From dico, duco, facio, and ferro. Dico, duco, facio, ferro. They are dec, duc, fac, and fer. Okay? So the 4 irregular imperatives in the singular. He says, old maiden, he says, dec. Speak, tell me, quid vult concursus ad omnem? The quid, and this is very much worth knowing for AP people, quid is very often a synonym for core. You usually think quid to mean what? What, exactly. You think it to mean what? But very often it is used in the sense of a why. He says, why does this concursus, this gathering, why does this gathering wult, and it's implied wult moera or wult era, want to go ad omnem. Omnis is a synonym for flumen. Want to go to the river. Now, I will say, unfortunately, it seems in this passage, and it's just the nature of the passage, what he's talking about, we are running up against a lot of words we just haven't seen before. We certainly had never seen portator or naueta, these words for ferryman. Here he's chosen to use omnis instead of flumen. We have seen before, but not often. He says, what's the deal here? Why do they all want to go down the river? He says, or quid petunt animae. Now the quid is a regular quid. Or what do these animae petunt? What do these souls seek? Very nice. Or quo discrimine repas hae linquunt, illae remis vada livida verunt. Or he says, with quo discrimine. With what distinction do high, implied high animae, do these souls over here, why do these souls, what's the reason that these souls over here linquunt the ripas? Leave the ripas, synonym for litura. Leave the shores. Why are these guys having to go away? But illae, those guys, they remis vada livida verunt. They verunt. They sweep over the vada livida. Not so much the shallows, but what color shallows?
Blue shells.
The dark shallows. Here's the deal. Livid, L-I-V-I-D. Do you know that word?
Yeah.
Usually you think it means what?
Rage.
Livid with rage, synonym for rage or anger. It comes from this word, though, it means dark, bluish, black, like a bruise. A proper description of a bruise is to describe it as livid. Okay? And the idea, by extension, for anger is that you get so mad, right? Your face is just getting really dark and twisted. It's by extension that it can mean anger. He says, why do these people go away from the banks, and those guys over there, they're sweeping over the dark shallows with raiments? And we've had that before. It's another means of propelling a crowd with oars. In other words, why does one group get a go and the other group gets turned away? Why is that? What's the discriminant? What's the distinction here? And she ali sic breviter fata est. Now we've had ali once before. Okay? When Venus in book 1 begged Jupiter and said, what's going on? Didn't you promise that my boy was going to get a destiny, and now Juno's tearing him up on the sea and so forth. When Jupiter got ready to respond to her, Virgil used this archaic ali. Ali here is a synonym for illi, which is, in this instance, the dative singular of ille. Okay? So to him, she fata est. For fari fatus. She, let's get the right tense. Dixit. Locuta est. She spoke. Good. She spoke. Very quickly. How do I know from fata est that it's a she who's doing the speaking? This is a good second question. Because fata, what about? It's feminine. Now, furthermore, we know from the end of the line, she, the longaiva sacerdos, spoke to him. She, the long. the something priestess. She's a long guy one.
The old.
The old priestess spoke to him. She spoke to him brevitem. Briefly. Okay. And she addresses him as Ankisa generate. We've had so many ways of addressing Aeneas in this thing. And one of them that we've had before was Nate Dea. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go back to that one. Remember that one? Son of a goddess. Let's break that one down. From Nankiskor, Nankiski, Natus. Okay? It's from Natus, the fourth part. So Nate is really what part of speech?
Vocative.
It's a vocative form. That's where I was going next. It's the vocative form of the last part of a verb. Last part of a verb is always the what? Hortatus, amatus, dictus. The what?
Oh, the last principal part.
Yeah, last principal part.
Freaking past participle.
Participle, past participle, right? You having been born, right? But then, as Marcus said, throwing it in the vocative, ablative of separation, having been born from a goddess. Now, this prophetess refers to him as you having been generate,
Generated.
have been generated, right? Having been produced from Anchises. It's the exact same construction, right? Anchisa is the ablative of separation. Generate is the vocative form of the participle. It's just here it's with reference to his father. And you tend to get more references to the father here because this is a book that's focused on him going to do what?
See his dad.
See his dad, right? So when Venus seems to be more in the scene or more in the story, you tend to get this, and then otherwise it's the other.
It does. Is there a shift? Is it like a noticeable Venus-related name descriptions are found in like the first 5 or so, and then it turns into like more.
I would bet you
information?
any amount of money you care to name that the answer is not only absolutely yes, but that much has been written about it. I'm sure of it. I'm just absolutely sure of it. I can't say off the top of my head. This is very distinct to me because it's here and it's going to come up. In fact, it's going to come up just a few lines later in 331. She's going to refer to him as, or Virgil refers to him as Ankisa Satos, literally sown, like seed sown.